Have you ever dreamt that your hair grew very long, or your hair was a different color than normal, or you had no hair at all? Well, we're going to talk about what hair can mean in dreams. Many people have had dreams about their hair. Their hair is either longer than normal in a dream, or they have a different color hair. So we're going to look at what hair can represent in dreams. So first of all, hair in a dream can represent the mindset or the way of thinking, because hair grows out of the scalp. So hair in a dream can represent wisdom. Long hair in a dream, you dream that your hair has grown so long down your back. That could represent growing in wisdom. God is showing that you're either going to grow in wisdom or you're currently growing in wisdom. You've obtained an increase in wisdom. Likewise, if you have a dream where you have short hair, that could represent a decrease in wisdom. Your hair is shorter than in real life. It could represent a decrease in wisdom, but it can also represent a new or a different way of thinking or a new outlook in life. So short hair in a dream can be positive or negative. It just depends on the context of the dream or what's going on in the dream. If you dream you have a new haircut, short hair, and you really love it in the dream, then that would tend to have a positive meaning, seeing things differently or from a different level or different aspect in life. Also, hair can represent strength and power. In the book of Judges, First Judges, it talks about how Samson had physical strength due to his hair. His hair held the power and the anointing of God. So hair in a dream can represent spiritual strength or the power of God that's come upon your life. Also, hair in a dream can represent your covering or a source of protection. In 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, 15th verse, it speaks of a woman's hair being her covering, her glory. And so this would represent protection of the mind or protection of your way of thinking godly thoughts. Also, hair in a dream can represent vanity or self-focus. If you dream that you're looking in the mirror and you're just doing your hair and you're not taking note of anything else that's going on around you, it could represent vanity, being vain, or self-focus, too much focus on yourself. Now, in dreams, you can have different colors of hair. So if you dreamt that you had a different color of hair, this would absolutely mean something. For instance, if you dream that you're a blonde and in real life you have black hair or dark hair, blonde hair in a dream is always great. So that represents the light of God or revelation or illumination that's coming to your way of thinking. God is bringing clarity in your thought life. So blonde hair is always good in a dream. Same would hold true of white hair in a dream. If you dream you have white hair or someone in the dream has white hair, that could represent the light of God. It could also represent purity or cleansing of thoughts that's coming to the person with the white hair in the dream. So blonde hair and white hair in dreams are great dreams. If you dream that you have red hair in the dream, well, that can have a positive or a negative meaning. Just depends on what's going on in the dream. So we know that in the positive sense, red can represent a wisdom. It could represent the anointing of God. So it could represent you growing in wisdom, God giving you more wisdom in your way of thinking. If you dream of the hair being fiery red, that could represent anger. That's the negative aspect of what red can mean. Anger, your thoughts, negative thoughts, negative way of thinking. It could represent sin, sinful way of thinking as well, or sin in your thoughts. So red, it just depends on the context of the dream, can be positive or it can have a negative meaning. Black hair in a dream can represent sin or sinful way of thinking, or even negative thoughts in the mind of the person in the dream with black hair. And they don't normally have black hair in real life, or you can have a dream where a person's hair is especially black, very, very black, and you notice that in the dream. It could represent someone who may have suicidal thoughts. Think of suicide or even death. Black hair in a dream can also represent witchcraft as well. So if you dream about someone in a dream, you see someone in a dream with black hair and they don't have very black hair in real life, that is a call to pray for that person's mindset or way of thinking. Blue hair in a dream is great. It usually represents revelation or insight in some aspect of the way the dreamer thinks. So blue hair is good. Light blue hair is good. Now, it depends again on the context of the dream, because if the person in the dream has dark blue hair or they have blue hair and they're acting depressed or sad, well, that in the negative sense could represent depression, because blue in the negative sense would represent sadness, depression, anxiety. So again, it depends on what's going on, what the dreamer is doing, how they're acting, their mood in the dream will point to the meaning of the hair color in the dream. Also, gray hair. If you dream you have gray hair is good, actually, in a dream. Gray can represent wisdom. It can represent maturity, a mature way of thinking. Many times I've had dreams where I'm talking to an old, gray-haired old man. And if you have dreams like that, a gray-haired old man that you're talking to in a dream can represent God himself. You can have a dream where a young person, in real life, they're young, but in the dream they have gray hair. God could be showing that they are mature beyond their years. So gray hair in a dream usually has a great meaning. Bald head. If you dream that you are bald or someone is bald in a dream, it could have a negative or positive meaning. In the positive aspect, baldness can represent humility, completely removing old ways of thinking, a fresh start in your way of thinking. In the negative sense, it could represent grief or mourning the loss of something. It could also represent a massive loss of wisdom in a particular area of your life. And God is bringing you warning through that dream. Dreadlocks. Have you ever had a dream that you had dreadlocks, or somebody, you encountered somebody in a dream with dreadlocks? Many years ago, I used to have dreams where a man in dreadlocks used to chase me, and I knew that that was a demon spirit that was chasing me. So dreadlocks in a dream, and I know many people have dreadlocks in this season, and some dreadlocks look really, really nice. So please don't be offended by the interpretation I'm about to give about dreadlocks. If you have dreadlocks, that's great. So, but if you dream about dreadlocks, someone having dreadlocks, and that's not their normal hairstyle, it could represent ungodly ways of thinking, twisted way of thinking, not thinking clearly. It could represent confusion. Or it could also represent someone identifying with a particular culture in their life. So it just depends on the context, but usually dreadlocks do not have a good meaning in a dream. Now, there can be different types of scenarios with hair in a dream. So we're going to look at the different types of scenes that could be taking place in a dream concerning hair. Number one, a haircut. If you dream that you're getting a haircut, somebody's cutting your hair, you're cutting your own hair, that would represent a change in thought, change in the way you think. It could also represent a decrease in wisdom in a particular area in your life. In the positive aspect, it could represent a new outlook on life, seeing things differently or different thoughts. It could also represent God humbling you in a particular area in your life as well. And a haircut could also represent spiritual grooming. So it's like a cutting away of things that would cause you to stumble in your thought life. So there again, a haircut could be positive. It could have a negative meaning. So it just depends on what's going on in the dream. Number two, you can dream that you have something caught in your hair. Something's in your hair and you're trying to get it out and you can't quite get it out. That could represent a negative thought that you have a hard time removing from your life, a negative thought. So God is showing you that you need to get rid of a certain aspect of the way you think because it's detrimental to your emotional and or spiritual health. So something caught in your hair God is showing that it's a particular thought that could cause you to stumble and you need to remove it, or you are having a hard time removing a certain way of thinking. Number three, washing your hair. So washing your hair represents cleansing and purification of thoughts or of your mindset, cleansing your old thoughts, old negative thoughts from your mind. Washing hair is conditioning hair. All of that is always a great dream. Number four, brushing, combing, or even flat ironing your hair. And that speaks of that your mindset needs to be straightened out. There needs to be a change in the way you think. It needs to be your thoughts need to be untangled. So it could speak of straightening out a particular way of thinking in your life. Number five, tangled hair. Your hair is in a tangled mess and you're having a hard time untangling your hair. That tends to represent confusion or a lack of understanding in some aspect of your life, or a perspective or a wrong perspective on something in particular. So tangled hair is not good. When you have dreams like that, it's important to pray and ask God to show you where your thinking is off, because many times we don't know that we have wrong ways of thinking. We think we're right. You know, you don't know what you don't know. You just don't. So it's important to pray and ask God to show you what's in your heart and what's in your mind, any negative way of thinking that could cause you to stumble or miss his will. Pray and ask God to reveal it to you, any negative ways of thinking. Number six, putting on a wig. So if you have a dream that you're putting on a wig, or someone you know you're talking to in the dream and you notice that they have on a wig and they don't normally wear wigs in real life, we know that wigs are fake hair. They're not the real thing. Some of them look wonderful, but we know they're fake hair. It could be real hair, but it's not our real hair. So wigs in dreams tend to represent pretending to be something that you're not, or the person is pretending to be something that they're not, in an effort to deceive or cause deception to others, making them think that there's something they're not. It could also represent false authority or false anointing. So wigs in dreams tend to be negative. I'm sure it can have a positive aspect, but they tend to have a negative meaning in a dream. What hair dreams have you had? I know many of you have had dreams about your hair. Leave them in the comments section below. Also, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Why are you waiting? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you won't miss any upcoming videos. And feel free to share this channel with your family and friends. I'll talk to you next time.